Dr. Joram Tarusarira conducted research among the Maasai and Pokot communities in Kenya to find out the relationship between climate change, conflict, and sacred beliefs and practices. He found that elders, religious and cultural leaders, and the communities at large attach sacred value to their natural resources, especially cattle, equating them to their mothers. Climate change is contributing to the scarcity of pastures and water, leading to the death of cattle and competition over the dwindling resources. Due to extreme climatic events, conflicts over cattle have become more frequent and fatal.
Hii mabadiliko ya hewa ni kuongeza imeongeza wizi. Auri sasa wewe unahama na zile mifugo yako kama sasa vile tumehama. Ng'ombe inaibiwa sana, tunanyang'anywa. Hata watu wanaweza kuja hapa wanakuambia jaribu toka, na alikuwa amejihami. Ng'ombe zinakuwa kidogo, shauri sasa imekosa lishe. Mvua imekuwa kidogo. Hiyo kitu ndio inatusumbua sana.
For the last 3 years, we have really experienced a lot of changes in the climate condition. This is basically because where we expect the short rains or maybe the long rains, they don't rain in the same pattern that they used to rain there before. To a farmer like me, it has really been a problem. For one, the climate change came and separate us with the animals that we love so much, and that is making us to go for long distance in search of pasture. Moving these animals from one place to another, it's very expensive, and it is not everyone that can afford. So what happened? Some failed to take their animal in search of pasture. What will happen to an animal that will be here for the next 4 months? That animals will get emaciated, and by the end of the day it dies. When it rains, I'll come with my animals back. What happened to my neighbor who all his animals died? The person who steals from you, it's either your neighbor or your brother. The conflict will always be there, because my neighbor will not see me having the 200 cows, yet he has nothing. So that is why these cases of conflict still revolve with the climate change.
What happens when climate-induced conflicts meet spirituality or the sacred? For the most part, the modern world answers by improving technology, smart infrastructure, increasing climate financing, and conducting excellent research. The Maasai and Pokot communities answer differently.
Tukisaliwa hivi, zamani kwa sisi. Lazima upatiwe na mama yako na baba yako ng'ombe inakuwa yako. Hii podi ilikuwa kuna hospitali, na mama anaweza kujifungua na aende awacha ile yaka mtoto. Na hiyo ng'ombe inafanya hiyo mtu anakuja kuwa mtu wa maana baadaye, na mama yake akuona mama yake. Hiyo ndio inafanya ng'ombe kama mama yetu.
Ore nkishu ne entoki sidai oleng te yiok. Ketii amu kamir enterit na kayier nena le naitau kirim namir nena le. Neeku naa ore nena tokitin uni tenkiteng naa ninche oshi naitasheki entomononi. Neeku kekinyor oshi yiok nkishu amu embenki ang.
In this community, it doesn't matter how much you learn it. Even if you will have 10 master's degrees, if you happen to have a single cow, nobody will recognize you. People will see you as nothing in this community without a cow. So this animal is an animal that is very much treasured. So to us, this animal is as important as our mothers. I'll never see a future without a cow.
Ore taata nkiteng naa kenyor iyiok amu tenilotu iyie irentitai, ore pee kinyor iyiok enkiteng, kiata enkiteng esidano. Ore enkiteng tenanu, ore pee epuroo oltung'ani are kama si teneitu aar metua, naa ore enkiteng nabo nelak nkishu aja 7 naa tenenuta enkiteng ai peenuta ena kiteng meshomo anya nelak nkishu aja 14. Neeku ore enkiteng te yiok naa eisidai enkiteng te yiok. Ore ake peeku ainepu oltung'ani teneitu atumoki atara metua nelak enkiteng ai, nelak enkiteng nkishu 14 tenenuta.
Wamasai lazima wapatane, the old mzei, wazee wanakaa chini kwa mti, wanatoa ng'ombe, wanachinja, wanaomba Mungu, na they believe kuwa wamempatia nini? Mungu sacrifice. Na walikuwa naamini hivyo, na according to their faith ilikuwa inanyesha. But right now kanisa imechukua usukani sana kwa Wamasai sahi sana. So tunachukulia ng'ombe kama is a living sacrifice.
Their perspectives challenge assumptions about religion and spirituality. 1, that these matters don't belong in these tech-savvy times. 2, that religion and spirituality are private matters about individuals, not the general public. And 3, that religion and spirituality are being stamped out by secularization. We need to rethink how we develop climate security intervention strategies to factor in knowledge about spirituality and sacred beliefs and practices.
Amore tanakata pelo enilotu yire entitai nijo kanyamal nirew enkiteng nabo tene nelotu olchore lai nerew enkiteng.
Kama mimi nilipokuwa mtoto mpaka nikakua, sikuona kitu ingine muhimu iko mbele ya ng'ombe. Na ukiona mahali hakuna ng'ombe iko shida. Na ndivyo unaona ule mtu iko na ng'ombe anashikilia, hiyo ndio kitu muhimu kwa sisi Masai.
The Maasai and Pokot communities attach sacred values to their herds of cattle. During climate-induced conflicts, Maasai and Pokot communities' actions and reactions are shaped by their culture's sacred beliefs about cattle. Understanding how sacred beliefs and practices influence responses to these conflicts provides insights into the conflict's intensity and can help develop effective intervention policies.
Amu ketii iltung'anak etii no mama nemeidimu ate na ore nai pelotu enyamali nijo ina naa kenyamalu amu ebaiki niata apa enkiteng nabo nikitung'iki olameyu nelotu likae tung'ani nelotu aya naa kiaku na ina shida, neeku enyamali sapuk oleng ina.
Hiyo hali ya anga ndio inafanya sisi tunaibana sana na hatuoni ile kitu itatuokoa hapo. Kwanza sisi wa Masai kama hapana angaliwa, sisi tunarudi nyuma sana mpaka hiyo ng'ombe inaanza kupotea. Kwa hivyo hiyo ni ngumu sana, hata sijui nitasema nini. Hiyo tunaona ni kitu ya kuja kutusumbua baadaye.
The Maasai and other communities that experience climate-related insecurity are not only sites of climate change vulnerability and conflict, but also deep-seated sacred beliefs and practices. So, we are confronted with climate-induced conflicts in contexts where communities survive on environmental resources that they relate with on sacred terms or consider sacred. Hence, the communities can take extraordinary measures, such as engaging in bloody conflicts, to protect what they consider sacred, such as land, water, or cattle.
So what happened today if my cows were stolen? I'll take my hunger to my neighbor. So because there is that momentum of revenge, it will be very difficult for us to change this. And if it wasn't for the climate change, everybody will have his cows and life will always be normal.
The full power of techno-scientific approaches is crucial for the most up-to-date understanding of the climate system. But climate change challenges are too complex to be understood from one angle. Unless human and cultural dimensions are taken into account, solely technocratic solutions may alienate those they are intended to help. We must facilitate a constructive dialogue between the socio-economic, political, and scientific approaches and the human and cultural dimensions of climate security risks and solutions. The Maasai and Pokot communities have their own ideas on how climate conflict can be resolved.
We believe that there is something we call spirit, evil spirit or God spirit. Now conflicts, it doesn't start from multitude people. It starts with mtu moja. Unasikia mtu moja ndiye anasema tu tumchome. But to overcome that situation, unapatanga yule mmoja ameshout amesema si heri hata tupigane. Unapata wazee wanamkemea. When you want to deal with a Maasai, kitu ya kwanza, or you want to make a Maasai to be your friend, penda ng'ombe.
Kidimai na ibeti suluhisho. Kidimai ibeti amu kidina iltung'anak lina heri anororo. Ore peetumo nejikanyoki ntaas kulo apurrok. Ore peetumi lelo apurrok neoshi enkiboko. Piaku funzo toorkulikae.
Ele maata mabadiliko amu ore naa mabadiliko ana naa Enkai nayiolo. Maata naa mabadiliko ina amu ena nayiolo shumata natii ninye nayiolo openy.
Traditionally, if someone happened to kill the person, we will do it traditionally and we'll pay 49 cows. They're enough to compensate for that person. If I happen to abuse an old mzee who is older than me, I'll buy a blanket and a bottle of whiskey plus a cow. That thing is over. If it happens today my sister is being married, we don't talk of cash. We talk of 12 heads of cows or 6. So to us, it's like we have a constitution that everything that is done in this community, there's a constitution and it must involve a cow.
Conflicts over cattle have become more frequent when pastoralists lose their cattle due to drought and then go on to rustle other people's cattle or enter other communities' territories in search of pastures and water for their cattle. Despite the availability of huge funding, excellent science, and smart infrastructures, these conflicts persist intensely and intractably. Sacred beliefs and practices deep in Maasai and Pokot communities, and probably many others, are blind spots in the climate security discourse. We won't understand the persistence of these conflicts, nor will we be able to address them effectively until we understand that these are also shaped by the sacred values that the pastoral communities attach to their cattle.
We are raised knowing that these animals are lives to us. I don't see and I don't think I can live without these animals. Because since I was born, I have never lived in a boma that there are no cows. My kids were born in a boma that there are cows. Traditionally, there is no any conflict that a cow will never sort. So to us, this animal, it's almost the second god, if not the second mother. So the only thing we are remaining as a Maasai community to do is just to worship this animal.